Is close to the situation that Hopkins is going over some of those offers from both those teams, the Titans and the Patriots. He's mulling over and trying to come up with a decision with what he wants to do. And I was told to be very patient here. This isn't something that's going to go down in the next 24, 48 hours. That is going to take some time for DeAndre Hopkins to come up with his final decision on where he wants to play.
So our update from Diana Rossini told us.
Thank you, Diana.
Everything that we already know.
Exactly.
Thank you, Diana. All right. Everything that we have already known about the DeAndre Hopkins situation, that he's quote unquote mulling it over, that he's going to take his time. Diana said over the past couple of weeks, he's been looking over the offers. How much time do you need to look over an offer? It's been like a week and a half.
Well, you only have 2 of them.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not much you need to look over. I just think he's waiting. And again, I said this the other day. I don't think this bodes well for neither the Titans nor the New England Patriots from this standpoint. If I have 2 contracts that, could be potentially close to what I want, or it could be what I want, and I'm still sitting back waiting, because no other contracts are coming in, that tells me that with these 2 particular teams, it could be one of 2 things. It could be, I believe that both of these teams are in a situation where they are almost forced to wait on me.
Yeah.
And I don't need to hurry up and, sort of sign a deal, because I know those 2 teams are in dire need of my services. So what that means to me is, listen, he can wait up until right before camp start, or he can wait until a week or 2 once camp start. Either way, he understands that there's nobody out there right now of his caliber. So why then do I need to rush and make a decision on one of these 2 teams? That could be one reason. The second reason could be, listen, I know what y'all are wanting to give me, meaning the Titans and New England Patriots, but I'm waiting on someone else or other teams to sort of get in the conversation. I'm waiting on a Kansas City potentially.
Buffalo.
I'm waiting on a Buffalo potentially. I'm waiting on these teams that I know that I can win now. I'm waiting on those teams to sort of, get in the sweepstakes, sort of speak.
And that's an interesting theory that you're not the only one that I've heard that from. Of people who are talking about the situation are saying, well, is DeAndre waiting on a team that's going to give him an offer where he can win a ring? Charles Robinson was on with Robbie and Rexford this morning and provided a little bit of clarity of exactly what's taking so long.
It looks like DeAndre Hopkins is delaying his signing. What do you think of that transition right there? What do you make of how this has played out with DeAndre Hopkins to this point, and where this is all headed in your mind?
I mean, I don't think he's delaying it. I think the teams are delaying it. I think that what we talked about the last couple of weeks, has come to fruition, which is the money's a problem, given where he is at this point. I think it's all breaking down the way we thought it was with DeAndre Hopkins. No one's in overdrive to run out and sign him, especially not for the number that Odell number that's out there, $15 million plus incentives. And, I think I said last week there's a possibility that this gets to training camp or close before, anyone really circles in with him, or unless the numbers change. But I heard other analysts saying, like, oh, this, when he got into the Patriots facility, he's not going to get out of the Patriots facility. And, I think something's going to happen quickly. And then it ended. And then it was like, again, I heard analysts like, oh, the next is really going to heat up now in the next day. I'm like, who are you talking to? Because that's not what I'm hearing at all. I'm hearing it's just a lot of, visits. People know what they're getting. No one's unfamiliar with the product at this point on the field. It's just about finding, the right number for the reality of the player. And yeah, I don't know. It's been a really, really interesting one, but I could be wrong. I'm going to continue on what I said last week. I still think this is something that's going to drag on for a while.
And I think he's right. I think he's right. I think it's sort of like, in Jared alluded to it yesterday in regards to, like, if somebody wants to buy my house for $2 million, I sell it to him.
Everybody has
here
a
you
price.
go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody has a price. But I think it's like, I'm starting to believe that from Hop's situation, I don't think it's all like 100% about the money.
Why not?
I don't, because I think with New England and the Titans, it's about money. I think it's about money with them. It's like, okay,
The non-contender tax.
exactly, like y'all may make it to the playoffs, and y'all want me to come to y'all team and help y'all. Well, y'all got to pay a little bit extra for that, because if y'all don't have me, the likelihood of y'all making it to the playoffs is very slim. If y'all don't have me, the likelihood of y'all offense being better than what it was is unlikely to happen next season if I'm not on your team. So, with that being said, like you said, it's the non-playoff tax. Like, if I don't come to your team, more than likely you're not going to make the playoffs. So you got to pay a little bit extra to get me on your team. Well, the other side of it is this. Like, if you walk into a house, and I've done this a few times, like, in your mind, you got what you like. In your mind, you got this vision of what you want your house to look like that you're moving in, that you're looking for. And you say, well, I want, almost an acre lot. I want 4 or 5 bedrooms, 2-car garage, maybe even something. But then I want it closer to the kids' school. So these are all the things that I want. But then as you start to search, it's like, okay, well, I really like this house, but it doesn't have the acre lot. It has maybe a half an acre. Mm-hmm. It's close to this kid's school, but it only has 4 bedrooms, maybe 3. But it's in an ideal neighborhood. Like, if I buy this house, if I need to sell it, I can turn around and sell it.
Certain things are willing to compromise on.
And I think that's D-Hop. It's like, I'm willing to compromise. If Kansas City or Buffalo or some other contender comes, I'm willing to compromise, a few $1 million here or there. Because I know if I win a championship, that I'm going to make that up. I've always said that about, I look at Tom Brady, and he's just like the poster boy of, like, listen, if you want to build a championship team, help build a championship team for the quarterback position, if you know you are that guy, then sometimes you got to take a little bit less. Mm-hmm. But if you win those championships, you're going to make more than what you probably made in contract-wise. And it's bared out. Tom Brady is getting over $300 million from, what is it, CBS, one of those stations?
From Fox Sports.
Fox Sports. That's more than he's made in the NFL. So he may look at it from that standpoint. I take a little bit less because I know if I win a Super Bowl, and then, one, that opens up the pathway of me getting into the Hall of Fame even bigger. Then once I get in the Hall of Fame, I got a Super Bowl ring. The money that I left on the table, I'm going to make that back tenfold eventually. I know I am. So he could be thinking about it from that standpoint. Like, you're going to pay the non-playoff tax, Tennessee and New England. So I'm going to keep y'all right there. But if Kansas City, Buffalo, or one of these other contenders come, they don't have to pay that tax. I'm going to go with them because I know if we win a Super Bowl, I'm going to make that up on the back end.
It may change per team. Like,
it could.
To take, let's say, I'm just going to throw just fake numbers out there. If it's 10 for Tennessee, maybe D-Hop goes to Kansas City for 7.
Exactly.
He already said, it came out a couple of weeks ago, Brooks Cabina of the Houston Chronicle said, yeah, D-Hop said he'd be willing to go to the Texans because he's got a price for the Texans.
Exactly. You're going to pay a huge non-playoff tax.
I have to pay the Houston Texans tax.
Exactly.
But for the Titans, it's about the money. Mm-hmm. And like Charles Robinson said, the money isn't materializing. Exactly. The money just isn't there. So if you're the Titans, where it stands right now, that he's had a good visit, the Titans feel confident about their visit, and now it's been a week and a half, no developments on the D-Hop front. Do you start to give him what he wants? Do you pay him the Tennessee Titans tax? We'll get into that coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. And hey, join the Nashville Predators 25th anniversary block party presented by Tractor Supply for those who enjoy living life out here. This Monday through Wednesday, Music City welcomes a week full of events featuring the NHL Awards, the 25th anniversary concert, and NHL Draft. Fans can enjoy this free party featuring live music, red carpet walks, games, alumni autographs, food trucks, activations, and more. Don't miss this incredible week of events starting Monday as the Preds celebrate 25 years. More information on NashvillePredators.com.
Every day we are live and local.
You need to give Ron Tannehill a 2-year extension.
There haven't been too many coaching changes for the Predators.
And your source for Nashville sports.
I think that's what the Titans need.
Players who can score.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Sounds take the field tonight at 6:35 against the Norfolk Tides. Kick your weekend off relaxing with Sounds Baseball. Gates open at 5:30, but stick around for the whole game to enjoy a post-game fireworks show. Tickets available now at NashvilleSounds.com.
Rich Bar Florist is family owned and operated since 1955 and one of the top 100 florist companies in the country, providing their customers with quality flowers sourced from around the world and handcrafted floral arrangements. Rich Bar Florist is a proud sponsor of NASCAR and the Nashville Super Speedway, proudly serving the stars of NASCAR, IndyCar, and Hollywood, such as Elton John, Ozzy Osbourne, Alexander Rossi, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and many more. Learn more at richmarflorist.com. Rich Mar Florist, Pennsylvania-based, Tennessee strong.
Upgrade our diamond ring this summer with no money down and 0 interest for 5 years. Don't miss this killer offer from Genesis Diamonds. 5 years, 0 interest financing. Not just on engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, pre-owned Rolex watches. Buy now, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just $85 a month. And that luxury pre-owned Rolex Submariner, Datejust, or Explorer starts at only $150 a month. Now through July 1st at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit, see store for details.
We try to stay cool by being on social media.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game and on Instagram at 1025 The Game Nashville.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, and like us on Facebook, too. Having some fun in the midday.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase on 1025 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase is brought to you by the News and Sportsbook with cash rewards and the easiest, simplest betting experience possible. Betting just got better. Download the Zen Sportsbook app today. Talking DeAndre Watch, the latest from Diana Russini on NFL Live yesterday. He's mulling over the offers that he's gotten from the Titans and the Patriots, and he's taking his time, which is exactly what we have known over the last couple of days. But if there's nothing changing on DeAndre's side of things, if we haven't learned anything new from DeAndre's camp, have we changed our minds about the D-Hop situation? Does it get to a certain point where the Titans look at it and they say, we cannot wait any longer? Fine. We'll wave the white flag. We'll bend our knee, DeAndre. We'll give you what you want. TD was on with Jared Stillman yesterday for the TD Power Hour. This is what he had to say about where the D-Hop situation is with the Titans.
The DeAndre Hopkins thing, I think they could be more aggressive. I think it's a deal that they could get done and make happen, and I think they should go ahead and finish the deal, land that plane, so to speak.
Would you, all right, I'm going to put you in Rand Carthon's shoes. Would you just give him the $15 million and be done with it?
Honestly, I probably would. I would have entered into this situation not fully with doing that, but I would do it at this point, being as okay, look, I'm this close. Let me go ahead and seal the deal.
Would you? If you were Rand Carthon, TD says, hey, if you are so close to the finish line, just give him what he wants to push it past the finish line.
If indeed you know that's going to get the deal done, you know.
You would do it?
Gosh, man, that is – I don't know. You know, if this team was one guy away and he was that guy, if this was 2 years ago, hell yeah, I'm doing it. Let's do it. Let's wrap it up very quickly. Let's give him what he wants. Maybe even put some more incentives in there to get more than what he wants. but this team is ready to win the Super Bowl, and you are the last guy, the missing piece, sort of like what they tried to do with Julio Jones. If that's Hop, then I'm doing it, because we are, theoretically we're one guy away from really making that push and really being, that odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Do you do it now?
They're not in that position right now. And are you going to pay a guy? And I'm not saying he's not worth it. That's not what I'm saying. But are you willing to pay a guy $15, $16 million, and then potentially not make it to the playoffs, or if you do make it to the playoffs, you lose in the first round, and then him not sign back the next season, him go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. He basically, used you to boost his profile for this year, because last year was not a D-Hop type of year because of the suspension and everything.
You could say that about the Chiefs and
you
Juju
could
Smith-Schuster.
But
I don't think the Chiefs.
But the Chiefs are not going to. But the Chiefs are not going to pay, $15, $16 million, and they didn't pay.
It's true.
Juju Smith-Schuster that much money either.
No.
It was like, yeah, we want you, but you will benefit more than we will benefit. Why? Because we're going to win the Super Bowl more than likely, so you're going to benefit from this, So if I'm Kansas City, I'm not doing it either, definitely. But if I'm the Titans, I'm very hesitant to do it, because we're not one guy away. Again, I'm not saying that he's not worth it, but it's realistically, what do you want to get out of this? Do you want to make him a Titan for more than 1 year? Then, if you want to make him a Titan for more than 1 year, then do it. Mm-hmm. Because you can justify it, because he's here for 2, maybe 3 seasons. But if it's just a 1-year deal and you're not in serious contention to win the ultimate prize, or even in a position you're going to be battling it to make it to the playoffs, I can understand why you would want to do it. But then I'm thinking, why would you do it? I understand why you would, but I'm thinking, like, why? I understand that part, but why? Like, it still puts you in the same position you were in prior to him coming to this team. It doesn't.
After the 1 year?
Yeah, but with the Tennessee Titans, they're always going to be a team, when they're coached by Mike Vrabel, they're always going to be a team that everyone looks at and say, you know what, just watch out for the Titans. Be aware of the Titans, because they are a solid team, mm-hmm. well-coached team. So they're going to be in a lot of their games. Well, either with D-Hop or without him, it's going to be that way. So why, sort of pay this guy $15 for 1 year? Now, if it's for 2 or 3 years, then yeah, I give you the $15 the first year. And then, whatever the contract is after that, we can move forward. But I just don't like the 1 year deal thing. That's what I don't like. If it's more than 1 year, then yes. Because I think 1 year will not get the best D-Hop that you can possibly get. I think 1 year he's still going to be trying to find his way in this offense, see where he fits in this offense, build a rapport with the quarterback. Because, listen, if he doesn't sign within the next week or two, it's not going to be into camp that he signs. And then we talk about the whole thing. Well, he don't want, he's not a big practice guy from sources. He's not a big practice guy. So you throw that in there, he's not going to have enough time to really be the player and feel comfortable in the offense that he wants to be. I've been there. I understand that part. So you can't just throw him out. I don't care if he knew that offense.
Yeah.
You still can't just throw him in there and expect production, like D-Hop production. It's going to take some time. So I would rather it be a 2 or 3 year deal than a 1 year deal.
I agree with TD.
Uh-huh.
I would do it. I would have to be more aggressive. And I totally hear you. And I think that's kind of the discussion going on now is, hey, if you, like, we have one texter in our text line from LaserMobiles.com says, is he waiting for an injury in camp? Well, you wait for an injury in camp, you might not be getting in until early August, and that's too late.
Yeah, you be waiting.
But I would agree. I agree with TD. that the Titans, that's what TD reported last week, the Titans feel confident about their meeting with him, that they feel like he would be a good fit. That's what Vrabel said, that he wants guys who want to be here. So if that checked that box, and within the building, all of their boxes are being checked, and they feel confident about it, then I think at this point, you need to be more aggressive. Because at this point, no, I don't think that you're a D-Hop away from winning the Super Bowl, but adding D-Hop makes your team better. Adding D-Hop makes me feel more comfortable about where this team is and how many games this team can win, and it probably makes them feel more confident and comfortable with that within the building. So if that's what it is, if the money isn't there yet, and if the money is what the stall is for D-Hop on his side of things with the Titans and the Patriots and the offers that he has in his hand, then do what you have to do to tip it over. Do what you have to do to push D-Hop just a little bit more so he can make up his mind. Where it is right now, it's at a standstill. We've heard that. That's been reported ad nauseum. So you do what's in your control to push it past a standstill, because you know that you feel confident about him, and I feel confident that he makes your team better right now. The 2 to 3 year deal thing doesn't bother me as much, because I think that this team in 2 years is much different than where this team is right now.
Course.
It's going to be probably the Will Levis show. You're not going to have Derrick Henry. This offense is going to look very different. It's going to be a younger team. It's going to shift a little bit. This is the last hurrah with Byard and Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, at least what it feels like. So 2-3 years from now, I don't know how much D-Hop is going to help this team. But this year, I know he's going to be able to help this team. So I'm with TD. Be more aggressive. Give him what he wants.
So, because it's just, I'm looking at this and, listen, if whatever you are offering him, because obviously we don't know the dollar amount, if I'm D-Hop and I'm signing with you, because I've heard the whole, well, get him incentives and let it boost it up to this. No, I don't want any incentives. I want a flat $15 million. I don't want no incentives, because
that's what I'm saying. If he wants 15, Titans
I don't want to be tied to, potentially a team winning the AFC South. I don't want to be tied to that, because I can't control that by myself. I don't want to be tied to, if you get over, 60 catches. I don't want to be tied to that too, because I don't control that. I don't want to be tied to touchdowns either. I don't control that. I don't want to be tied to anything that I can't control, because I don't have the football in my hand every play. The quarterback does. And this is a run-based team. Give me $15 million flat out, and we can talk. But I don't want no incentives, because incentives does nothing to me, because I don't know if I'm going to reach those incentives, unless the incentives are, hey, if you come in and, you participate in 45% of the 40 to 45% of the plays.
Easily achievable.
Something that is so easy. Like the minute I walk on the field, I basically earn all of those incentives. If it's that, okay, I can talk about it. But if it's other things where it's going to take more and I don't have control over it, then I don't want, just give me the flat $15 million, and now we can seriously talk.
And that's the OBJ contract.
Yeah.
15, and OBJ does have incentives up to 18.
Yeah.
But the base salary is $15 million.
Exactly.
I would do it. I would do it. And I don't think that we can look at moves just whether it can help you win the Super Bowl or not. I don't think we can look at it that way, because if that was the case, then why would the Houston Texans acquire Robert Woods? No, it's not going to help the Houston Texans win the Super Bowl, but it makes them a better team.
But Robert Woods is not the caliber of D-Hop.
No, I 100% agree with you.
D-Hop,
I don't think that they are comparable in their play, but I'm just saying there are teams that are probably not in contention for the Super Bowl that are acquiring players because it helps you win as many games as possible. That's how I view the New Orleans Saints acquisition of Derek Carr. I don't think that Derek Carr makes the New Orleans Saints all of a sudden a Super Bowl contender, but I admire the Saints going out and making their team better. That's what the D-Hop move is to me. Are you a one D-Hop away from winning the Super Bowl? Probably not. Does he make your team better? Yeah. So I say do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not opposed. I am not opposed to D-Hop coming here. I just know that if if you were going to give him the $15 million, just give it to him. Don't try to sit here and wait and play these. Oh, I want to see what this team is offering. I want to wait and No, you just if you really want him, I believe you offer what you know will get him to sign.
Right.
If you're in a position of, if we get him, great. If we don't, we don't. Then I'm going to offer him whatever the Titans offering him.
And if that's where they're at, this is our offer. Take it or leave it, and we'll be fine, and we'll move forward without you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's understanding that you might not get D-Hop.
Vrabel just
Are you
doesn't
okay
seem
with
like
that?
Vrabel just doesn't seem like one of those guys. And I think Rand Carthon, coming from where he came, I don't think he's one of those guys either. Like, that's just going to sort of cave in to a player's financial demands. They don't come off as those type of guys. They come off as, like Vrabel said, either you want to be here or you don't. This is what we're offering. Either take it or leave it. We're not in the business of playing these games of going back and forth. Damn it, you want to be here, here's the contract.
But I think also Vrabel understands that D-Hop's got to take care of his business too.
I get that. Yeah.
I see both sides of it. And 2 weeks ago, would I have said pay DeAndre Hopkins $15 million? No. Things change. Time changes things. Ask D-Mase coming up next. Get those questions in for D-Mase. Your calls, your text, 615-737-1025. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 1025-1063 The Game.
The NHL Awards and NHL Draft are coming soon to the Music City. Join us live June 26th through 29th at Bridgestone Arena as we'll have you covered from the red carpet and the draft floor as the stars of tomorrow join the quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. We are your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willy Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. You don't even have to touch your primary mortgage. You can keep that 3% rate intact. Get just the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Hey, it's Jared. If you're listening to us on I-24 towards Murfreesboro or I-65 towards Spring Hill, make sure you check out 106.3 for another great way to hear Nashville's best sports talk.
Hey, Nashville, this is Vanderbilt head coach Jerry Stackhouse. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
D-Mase. He played 15 years in the NFL.
Quick throw. Touchdown, Derek Mason.
He had over 12,000 receiving yards.
Midfield, and there he goes. 80 yards for the touchdown.
And now you can ask him anything. Have a question about football or life? Now's your time to ask D-Mase.
We'll welcome you in.
Now on Caroline, Willy, and
D-Mase.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Ask D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Get those questions in for D-Mase as D-Mase is going full shades inside.
I'm going full shades in honor of the NBA draft yesterday, I saw one or two, maybe it probably was more than that, parents with sunglasses on. And I'm thinking like, damn it, y'all inside. The sun ain't that bright. The sun ain't even out.
And it's also at night and you're inside.
And the lights aren't that bright. Now, it may be bright for your son because they're getting drafted, but it ain't bright for you. Take off those damn sunglasses. But this is how they were looking in there with sunglasses on. Like this. That is a pet peeve of mine. Damn it, people that wear sunglasses inside, I don't trust you. I don't. As I'm wearing sunglasses inside, but I'm only wearing it as a prop because of what I saw in the NBA draft and what I've seen, not just in the NBA draft, but in other realms. Like, you walk into a building, it's like, why in the hell do you got on sunglasses? Why?
It makes me think that either you're on drugs or you're hungover.
Exactly. One of the two. That's the first thing I think. Yeah. Like, okay.
Or you're a celebrity.
Even a celebrity, damn it. I mean, everybody know who you are anyway when you walk in, because you walk in with like 50 people surrounding you, so they know who you are anyway. Right. So why wear damn sunglasses? I don't trust people that wear sunglasses inside. They're fishy. It's a little sneaky.
Ben Simmons always used to wear sunglasses like out at the bars at LSU. And he would say, like, I don't want people to notice me. And I was
you 6'10" and don't nobody. 6'10" light-skinned dude and nobody knows who you are.
Everybody knows who you are.
Exactly.
Ben.
Like,
Everybody
come on.
knows who
You're
you
the only
are.
6'10" guy walking around here.
Right, exactly. You just make yourself look dumb when you do it. Like, it's nighttime and it is a crowded, dark bar. Like, can you even see where you're walking? It's stupid.
So in honor of the NBA, I am going to all of those that wear sunglasses inside. I'm going to wear sunglasses for the Ask D-Mase.
All right, Derek, say it with me.
You stupid. You stupid. Let's go. What we got?
Matthew in Nashville texts in and asks D-Mase, other than Jimbo Fisher or Brent Venables, by the end of the 2023 college football season, which coach do you think will be or should be on the hot seat?
Ooh. Oh, man. That's a tough one. I would have thought that John Harbaugh, but because of what they did last year, he sort of redeemed himself because I think he would have. I'm not saying that Michigan would have fired him, but I think he would have been on the hot seat had he not advanced and did what he did in the college football playoffs, or at least get into the college football playoffs, winning the Big Ten championship. I don't know. My first thought would have been Jimbo Fisher, because of all that has happened, the money that they're paying him, the recruits he went out there.
5 and 7 last year. They got $100 million.
They basically paid for, and it's not legal. It's not illegal. They came to this university because they got a lot of NIL money, supposedly, and it didn't work out.
I can't take you seriously with those sunglasses on.
I know, I just got them on there. So I don't know. I really don't at this point.
I'll throw out 2 names. You say if I'm on the right track or not. And I will stick in the state of Texas. Steve Sarkisian. He went 5 and 7 his first year at Texas, went 8 and 5 last year. Every single year, they're projected to be a top 10 team, a college football playoff team. They've collected all of these 5 stars. They've got 2 of the best quarterbacks in college football on their roster, Quinn Ewers and now Arch Manning. If Texas doesn't win at least 10 games, I think Steve Sarkisian should be on the hot seat.
It depends on who they lose to me. Because it seems
Lost
like
to Kansas.
Yeah, that's not. Well, Kansas.
No,
the year before that, Kansas was
yeah.
really good. Then the program sort of went back to what Kansas is.
Yeah.
But each year he's been there, they've gotten better from a win-loss standpoint. I'm not necessarily saying he has to win 10 games. He can't go backwards. Let's just say that. He can't go backwards. I think Texas is going to give him enough time because I can say what other coaches out there, but we don't know until once the season ends for college football next year, this upcoming season. But if he would have to take a tremendous step back or something would have to happen inside the program that can potentially put them, on probation or something. But I think they're going to give him the leeway because he is a good coach. I think they're going to give him an opportunity to continue to build this program. And then you got to play an SEC schedule. So I as long as he doesn't take a step back,
right,
I think he'll be fine.
Second name I'll throw out to you, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. He has not won more than 6 games in his 3 years at Mizzou. Went 5-5, 6-7, and then 6-7 the past 2 years, with losses in the Armed Forces Bowl and the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
I don't know
why
what those bowls are.
I don't either.
Yeah, me either.
I think people in Missouri just love him. They love Eli Drinkwitz, and I don't get it.
Because
he's the.
There was a point in time where what was it? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where Missouri was winning games.
They won the SEC East their first 2 years in the SEC in 2012 and 2013.
Yep.
Since then,
they haven't been relevant in the SEC. I guess it just depends on what your expectations for your program is, considering it's in the SEC. If they feel that, no matter what, this should be a 8, 9, 10 win program, then he needs to win quickly. But if you're sitting in a seat, and this is and I hate to even sort of bring Vandy in this, but say like the bottom half of the SEC.
That's the truth.
The way you look at, what you consider progress and what you consider a good season is different from what Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, teams like that, they consider, because what you have to work with. That your program doesn't get those players that those other programs get. And so if you believe that your program is, okay, Missouri, we should win at least 7 games. That's like 6 to 7 games is the minimum that we should at least win that. Now, if we get over that, that's great, and we have in years prior, but it didn't last because we're not one of those programs. Right. But if you're winning 7, 8 games, then as a Missouri student body or a Missouri alum, are you upset? Can you be upset considering where your program has been?
But considering the success that Missouri football has had before.
Yes, they have, but it's been in blips, like here, and then they go, and then again, and then they you lose them again, and then they start winning again. So it's like it's been just blips of success since they've gotten in the SEC. It hasn't been consistent success, because programs like that, when it's hard to recruit, when you can't get those 4- and 5-star guys, you're not going to have sustainability. It's not going to be each season, we're getting better, or each season we're winning 8 games no matter what. You're going to have seasons where you win 10, but more than likely you're going to have seasons where you win 6, 7, and 8 may be like a good year for them. So
different perspectives.
Exactly.
The suit says Dabo.
Dabo Swinney. I don't know, man. They went 10-2 last year?
If that.
No, I thought they win 10 games, 9 games.
If they did, it wasn't very pretty.
No, I don't think it was pretty.
They went 11-2 in the regular season.
Yeah,
and
I
lost
thought they had a good season, because at one point we were talking about Clemson potentially getting in the college football playoffs, and then they end up losing toward the end of the season, and it just didn't work out for them. I think Dabo is there until Dabo doesn't want to be there, honestly. I really do. I think Dabo's there until he doesn't want to be there. Unless, again, if there's a scandal or if it just falls off the rails, then you got to rethink it.
And I think it depends on how you define a hot seat, because hot seat could mean, like, you are 1 loss away from getting fired. Yeah. Or it could be, all right, we're getting really close to the conversation of we really need more from you. You need to start producing. I think we might be there with Dabo. It's not necessarily like you're close to being fired, but you're pretty darn close to getting to the point of where we're saying, what has Dabo done for us lately? More Ask D-Mase coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
185! Every team needs a quarterback. 185! That's why we have
Hasselbeck, bootleg, rollout, toss,
touchdown.
Tim.
You can run good plays at the right time.
ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck gives his expertise on all things NFL.
You evaluate players, and then you're turning them over to the coaching staff.
Every Tuesday at noon.
At the right time.
With Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. Tim on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Happy Friday, everyone. It's D-Mase for Zen Sports, the new sports book in Tennessee that brings cash back to Nashville, or should I say Cashville. Zen Sports is revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. On Zen Sports, what you see is what you get. And with their cash reward program, you get a lot of cash. Don't you hear that money? I hear it. I hear that cash machine. For a welcome bonus, earn an unlimited 5% cash back on your betting volume for your first 15 days when you sign up with the code D-Mason. That's D-M-A-S-O-N. That's right, unlimited 5% cash back. Keep betting and keep earning with up to 3% cash back on your betting volume every month after that. And refer friends to earn a percentage of their betting volume as cash rewards too. Zen Sports is bringing the cash back to Tennessee. So if you bet big on sports, you want to be betting on Zen Sports. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 years old or older in Tennessee to bet. Gambling problems, call 1-800-889-9789. That's Zen Sports. Betting just got better.
Heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, it's more for less. That's why everything in our store is priced affordably. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. And now, when you buy a Bauer 20-volt battery and charger for $99.98, you'll get to choose a select Bauer 20-volt tool to go with it for free. Yep, more for less. Harbor Freight. Offer and pricing valid in-store and on in-stock items only from now until June 30th. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Cannot be combined with other discounts or promotions. Free tool limited to select items only.
Hey y'all, it's Courtney with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Warmer months have you working overtime? Be sure to visit Parman Tractor and Equipment for all your New Holland tractor and bush hog needs. Swing by our store at 3570 Dickerson Pike in North Nashville or give our sales team a call. We're now offering 0% financing for 72 months on select New Holland tractors. Get the brands you trust from a local dealer like Parman, always ensuring totally outrageous customer service. Visit ParmanTractor.com for the best deals on equipment, New Holland tractor, bush hog, and more.
This year, Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee celebrates its 120th anniversary. Through time, BGCMT continues to evolve to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible leaders. Because of your continued support, BGCMT has remained strong and is committed to supporting our youth and solidifying our mission and culture in new exciting ways for 120 years. Visit bgcmt.org today.
It's happening. Social Furniture's Hot Buy sale is going on now. You'll find your dream furniture on sale now for our best prices of the year. Sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom sets, mattresses, dinettes, and more are all on sale. Social Furniture has one of the largest selections of in-stock furniture in Middle Tennessee, ready for delivery today. Buy now and pay later, interest-free. No credit needed. Find Hot Buys in every department. Hurry into Social Furniture today. Social Furniture, 5412 Charlotte Avenue on the west side.
If it's important to Nashville,
I'll put it out right now.
It's important to Jared Stillman.
Like, that's it.
He's not afraid to ask the tough questions.
Something is going on, and the question is, what does it mean?
Or give the strong opinion.
And just needed the bozo offensive coordinator to stop ruining the quarterback.
Stillman and Company. Weekdays at 2 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
D-Mase.
He played 15 years in the NFL.
Quick throw. Touchdown, Derek Mason.
He had over 12,000 receiving yards.
Midfield, and there he goes. 80 yards for the touchdown.
And now you can ask him anything. Have a question about football or life? Now's your time to ask D-Mase.
We'll welcome you in.
Now on Caroline, Willy, and
D-Mase.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Ask D-Mase. Get those questions in for D-Mase, 615-737-1025. And hey, catch the Rackley Roofing 200, the Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Ally 400 all on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, June 23rd through 25th. Coverage presented by Richmar Florist, a top 100 florist company in the country and a proud sponsor of Nashville Super Speedway. Let's get into those questions for D-Mase. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. One texter texts in and says, D-Mase, earlier in the week, you defended the current Titans wide receivers. You were on a team that signed Carl Pickens, similar to D-Hop now, and yet you made the Pro Bowl and became the #1 receiver. Do you think that any of these guys, like Phillips or McMath or Dowell, could do what you did?
Phillips, McMath, or Dowell. Can they do what I did? I'm sure they can.
Be Pro Bowlers?
Yeah, I don't know what their passion is, their desires are, the work ethic is. I knew what mine was. I knew what I wanted when I got in the league. I was pissed off. I was upset. I had a chip on my shoulder. So I wanted to prove that I could play in this league. And even when I became a starter, I still wanted to prove that I belonged as a starter on this team. I never wanted to relinquish that spot, being that #1 guy. That was just my mentality. Nothing was ever good enough. So I don't know how these guys are wired, but I'm not going to sit here and say they can't do it. It's going to be an uphill battle for them, as it was for me. It's going to be difficult, but, for me to sit here and say, well, they can't do it. They can't, be what I was. I'm not going to sit here and say that.
Vegas odds.
Vegas odds are slim. They're slim. I
Plus
like how
10,000?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Plus 20,000. I don't know. I like Kyle Phillips. I really do. And I defended that receiver room. And I don't know any of these guys personally, but I understand what it takes. I was watching JJ Redick this morning on Get Up. First Take, excuse me. And, he said something. They were talking about the worst takes or whatnot. And he was explaining to Stephen A. why, he told him, listen, you were never a player, so you don't understand. He wasn't saying that disrespectfully. He was just saying it's different. I'm not saying that you don't know the NBA, because you do. You know it. But being a player and knowing it is two different things. Being a player is something different than a guy on the outside getting information from sources and stuff, knowing it's different from being a player. That's why, when that was said about that receiving core, it's not that I'm defending them, but you don't know what it takes to play in this league. If you're on somebody's team, it doesn't mean that you're trash. You're good enough to be on somebody's team, but you may not be good enough yet to be a starter. You're right where your ability places you on this team. Either starter, backup, special teams guy. That's what your ability is. So it's placed you. Now you can maneuver up if you're not a starter. You can work your way up. But at this point in time, this is where your ability says that you are. The Titan receiving core isn't trash. They're a bunch of guys that are inexperienced, that doesn't have the skins on the wall, that you hope potentially will get that experience and potentially will become true players in this league, like guys that can help us week in and week out. So that's why I defended that group. They're not trash. They're good players, but just not good enough, or doesn't have the experience right now to impact the game the way that we see other receivers impact the game for their teams.
Josh Texan asked D-Mase, is there anyone in training camp or in this offseason that has surprised you, either being better or worse than you thought?
No, not really. Again, it's all in shorts and helmets. Nobody's really, you're going over plays and everything, but you're not really. I can't tell a lot by just these first few weeks of OTAs that they have. I can't. What I can tell is, okay, you've been working in off season. I can see that. but I'm not going to tell truly if you're going to be able to help us moving forward until we get into camp and then preseason games, and then obviously beyond that. So is there a guy? I don't think there's necessarily a guy, that I think, it's like, wow, that guy's come in and no, I don't think there is. I think Chig Okonkwo, I've always been a Chig fan. I wanted him used more last year. I thought he has that type of ability. I think he has Delaney Walker type ability to go out there and play and impact the game in a positive way. So I'm just looking for him to build on that. I'm looking for him to have a breakout year, a guy that's going to establish himself as one of the young threats from the tight end position in this league. That's what I expect from Chig, and I'm sure he expects that for himself as well.
Frederick Texan says, how many times do you think Treylon Burks should be targeted each game?
If he's going to be your number one guy, you have to I'm not going to force unless I just have to in certain situations. But I'm going to make sure that in the game plan, say if they don't get a D-Hop, in the game plan that there's at least 15 to 20 plays where you have, like, you're the number one guy. We're trying to get you the football. We may not be able to get you the football based on the defense, but you are our number one guy. So 15 to 20 plays every week. Now, how many times we're going to target you based upon those plays, I don't know. But you have to get, I think, a number one receiver, you have to at least on average be targeted in between 7 to 12 times or 8 to 12 times a game. You have to be. Now, some games you may only get targeted twice because of the game, the situation, weather, stuff like that. But if everything is sort of, say if we can play every game, 55-degree weather, sun's out, light breeze, then you should be targeted at least between 8 and 12 times a game.
Another texter texts in, says, D-Mase, if you are D-Hop, all things considered, take off the two-tone blue glasses, where are you going?
Man. I'm not going to say I wouldn't come to Tennessee, but, man, the older you get, the more you understand that, man, these playoff games and these Super Bowls don't come by often, opportunity to win Super Bowls don't come by often. I thought after the 99 season, hell, we'll be back. I ain't worried about it. Never got back. Now, we got back to AFC Championship games, but we never got back to the Super Bowl. Neither team that I played for. So if I'm D-Hop, and if the money's not far apart from each other, then I'm trying to go to an organization, if indeed they want me. I'm trying to go to an organization that has a quarterback that's ready to go, an elite quarterback, and a team that's tailor-made and ready-made to go to the Super Bowl. That's because it's not like I'm in my first, 5th year or my 6th year. I'm in my 10th, 11th, 12th year.
Would you have felt that way when you were playing? Because I think that, once you're on the other side looking back on your career, those accomplishments, like winning the Super Bowl, totally.
Yeah,
look back on it and say that's what I wanted to do.
That's how I felt when I became a free agent. Both times. That I wanted to go to teams where I knew had an opportunity, a legitimate opportunity, to go to the Super Bowl. And Baltimore was one of those teams. They had just coming off winning the Super Bowl. And this was a team that the culture was great in the sense of winning. They had a winning culture there, led by Ozzie Newsome. So I wanted to be there. And when I left Baltimore, I wanted to be at another place and end up going to the Jets. Now, it didn't work out, but they had just come off an AFC Championship game. They didn't win, but they were coming off 2 years in a row where they were in an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to a winner because why? I knew I was at the end of my career. I wanted to win. I didn't want to sit on a team that was going to maybe get in the playoffs, barely get in the playoffs, or not even have a shot at making the playoffs. I didn't have no desire to do that. I wanted to be on the winning team. It didn't work out that way with the Jets, but that's what my intentions were.
appreciate everyone for sending in their
Absolutely.
questions for D-Mase. But coming up next, I want to continue to pick your brain, D-Mase. Because DeAndre Hopkins has broken his silence. Dun dun. What do we think about it? We'll get into that coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Your Nashville Sounds continue their 6-game series at First Horizon Park tonight against Norfolk.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sounds win.
Pre-game at 6:20.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The FedEx St. Jude Championship returns to TPC Southwind, August 9th through the 13th. Don't miss your chance to witness the top 70 players from the PGA Tour season battle it out in the first event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Only 50 players will make it through Memphis. Don't miss your chance to watch the drama unfold. Daily grounds and upgraded ticket options are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
For more than a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. In their car, at home, or on the job, more than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. AM radio is also the backbone of the emergency alert system, which keeps us safe in dangerous times. It's reliable, free, and public safety depends on it. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Buffalo Bills Center of the West in Cody, Wyoming welcomes you as you enter Yellowstone Park's east entrance. 5 museums in one and the greatest firearms museum anywhere. Welcome to the West. Buffalo Bills Center of the West, Cody, Wyoming.
Now, your Game Center update.
This is Nick Keyser. There's one more week until restricted free agents on the Nashville Predators could receive qualifying offers. And incoming general manager Barry Trotz weighed in on Cody Glass and Alexander Carrier.
That may be a process that we end up going, but I've left it up to our people to talk to them, and I've talked to them as well. They will get done. I expect both of them to be part of our group next year, so looking forward to having them back and getting them signed.
Meanwhile, in Omaha, the LSU Tigers have taken down Wake Forest, advancing to the College World Series final against the Florida Gators. The final series begins tomorrow at 7 p.m. And back here in Nashville, the Sounds split a doubleheader against the Norfolk Tides. They'll be back in action tonight at 6:20 p.m. over on 94.9 The Fan. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Chase Elliott scores the win in the Ally 400 at the Nashville Super Speedway.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR. 102.5 and 106.3.
Gonna go 3 wide into turn number 1.
The fastest car won the race.
Checkered flag is in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Covering your teams and the news of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase.
Who is pleasant to listen to.
With Caroline Fenton, Willy Donick, and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason.
You are hands down my favorite radio personalities of all time.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
With no further ado,
Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. We are live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Game Studios, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by Superbook. Download their app today and use promo code THEGAME. It's a Friday. It's a fun day. I want to give something away, so stick around. We will give that away at the end of this segment. But it is DeAndre Watch 2023, everybody. And DeAndre Hopkins has broken his silence on Twitter. This was D-Hop on the afternoon a couple days ago. Whoever is in my future wide receiver group, I promise I will make your job easy. Who do you think he's talking to?
Oh, man. Anybody that wants to, anybody that's willing to, pay for his services. I don't think this was a direct I don't think this was directed toward any team, like one particular team. I think it's directed toward the two teams that, brought him in, and potentially the teams that he wants to sort of bring into his sphere. He wants to try to draw him in. Like, I'm going to say this, and hopefully that draws him in. Like, if you get me, I'm going to make your receiving group better. So I'm drawing all those in. He already knows he has Tennessee in New England. They're already in his sphere.
Yeah.
They're already in it.
Then why tweet
it? They're in it. It's for everybody else, too. It's for those teams that sort of maybe thinking like, man, maybe, what do you think about D-Hop? Could he help us? They're still like on the fence. Mm-hmm. What he's trying to do is trying to bring him into his world. Like, come into my world. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you first, and then I'm going to show you that if you bring me in, I don't care who you got, I'm going to make you better. So you better get me now, because if you don't get me, you're going to have to deal with me, basically.
So do you think he's basically saying this to GMs?
I think he is. I don't think it's directly. I don't think it's directed necessarily toward New England and Tennessee, because he know he has those two teams ready and willing to sign him to whatever contracts they have already put in front of him. He knows those are there. It's for the other teams that are out there that may be on the fence, teams that may have a good receiving room, but they could use his services,
right?
So he's talking to those teams that have not, sort of gotten into the sweepstakes of a D-Hop. That's who he's talking to, really, I believe.
I think he is talking to somebody specific.
Ooh.
I think that this is a targeted, direct message to somebody, and I don't know who it is. Mm-hmm. But this is my line of thinking. I will walk everyone through my line of thinking. D-Hop might be thinking, or has gotten word of, a certain wide receiver on a team that it might potentially be interested in entering the DeAndre Hopkins sweepstakes, but hasn't quite done it yet, because they've had conversations maybe with a star receiver or a receiver that's been paid a lot of money who is maybe against acquiring D-Hop, who might be saying, hey, I'm the guy. I am the guy. I don't want you to bring anybody else in here. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is a message for D-Hop to say, hey, you know what? I'm only here to make you better. I'm only here to make your job easier. I'm only coming in here so we can all win games. It's not about me. It's about us. It's about the team. So I think that this is a targeted message, and I don't know who it could be to. Because Stephon Diggs has seemed very open and excited about the idea of the Bills potentially bringing in DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe it's something that he's heard in a press conference, a media availability. When asked about D-Hop, that player said, yeah, we're good with the people that we have within this building. And that's something that's been said from a lot of receivers. Traylon Burks said that. Devontae Parker said that. Mac Jones said that. Several players across the league, several coaches across the league, Kevin Stefanski, Dan Campbell, Brandon Beane, general manager in Buffalo, has said that. So I don't know if there's a specific person in mind or who that specific person in mind is, but he's talking to somebody. I think that's a calculated thing that DeAndre Hopkins put out, because before that, the only thing that we heard from D-Hop was on May 31st, and it was like 3 monkey emojis, the hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil emojis. And that was it. Before then, it was a thank you to Arizona at the end of May. So that's all we have. After almost a month of nothing put out on Twitter, D-Hop puts this message out that I'll make your job easier at Future Wide Receiver Group. That was calculated. That means something.
Because there's not, at this particular time, there hasn't been this rush to sign D-Hop by a bunch of teams. Why? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and claim I know why. I don't know why. Maybe it could be because of the money. Maybe it could be because of the practice habits. It could be because people think he's more so on a downward, in his career rather than, ascending. So it could be several different, reasons why teams have not gotten in this sort of D-Hop sweepstakes. But he's trying to. If you have a product and you think it's a good product and, you put it out or you take it around And yeah, it may get some, a few, people talking about it or whatnot, interested in it. But then you go back, what are you going to what are you going to do as a sort of owner of that particular, device or whatnot? You're going to start pushing it out. Yeah, this is what it can do for your house, or this is what it can do for your car. This is what it can do for your life. I guarantee you, if you buy this, then this will happen, that will happen. And then you hope because of that, it drums up some interest.
Right.
It may drum up some likes or some retweets or whatnot. But it all helps toward your cause. And what that cause is to drum up business for your, sort of infant business that you're trying to, make a bigger business. That's all D-Hop is doing, is he's trying to drum up the interest. That's all. And he's right. He will make whatever receiving room he go to better. Mm-hmm. He's right in that.
Yeah.
But
and he would make receivers' jobs easier.
Absolutely. But he has to, for whatever reason, he feel he has to let that be known to people. Mm-hmm. I need to let you know about my product, what I still can do as a player. I guarantee you, if I'm on your team, I will make your receiving room better. I guarantee you, if you buy my toothbrush that can brush your teeth and, I don't know, whatever else, then, I guarantee you this is what it'll be able to do, and this is what it can do. So you should buy it, or you should, inquire about it. That's all he's trying to do, is drum up business.
So do you think that this could potentially be, it's not a calculated message, it's not a message to anyone specifically. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a cry for help in the weirdest way. A cry for, hey, look, reminder, I'm a really good player. Mm-hmm. Anybody else who's interested, I'm really good. Don't forget about me. I'm here. Mm-hmm. I'm open for business.
Well, yeah. Listen, what is it? The squeaky wheel doesn't get the oil. I mean, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Uh-huh. That's what it is. If I make enough noise, then
I'm still in the forefront of your mind.
If I'm still in the forefront of your mind, then I'm more than likely, I hope I will get what I'm looking for, whether it be the money, whether it be the right team, right situation, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. If I put myself out there, then at least I'm in the forefront of your mind now. If I don't say anything, then you may forget about me, That's just the way it is. That's why receivers always want the football. Because if I don't say anything, you will forget about me. You will say, oh, he's good. He doesn't mind the ball not being thrown to him. He's not causing a fuss. The only reason receivers cause a fuss or they start to say anything, because they know if they don't, you're going to take that as, oh, he's okay. He's fine with getting, 4 or 5 targets a game. Whereas elite receivers, they're not fine with it. And eventually they're going to say something, so.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So what does this mean within the context of the Titans? We'll get into that coming up next. And, of course, your thoughts as well, because I see your phone lines lining up on D-Hop Thoughts, so we are right to those coming up next. I promised a giveaway, so a giveaway we will do. Be caller 4 right now to win a pair of tickets to see Monster Jam World Finals at Nissan Stadium on July 1st. 615-737-1025 is the number. Good luck with that. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All the big plays.
Rebound, try out in front, and Saros covers it up.
All the big stories.
Andrew Burnett reportedly hired as the next head coach of the Predators.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air.
There's a lot on the quarterback.
46-27 Vanderbilt.
What does this group of players need more?
The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Start your savings journey now. A strong savings strategy creates financial stability, leading to more opportunity for you and the people who count on you. At F&M Bank, their savings accounts help you save easily, plan for expenses, and prepare for whatever comes your way. Life is complicated. Banking shouldn't be. So go see them at one of their 20 locations across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, or go online at myfmbank.com. F&M Bank, banking made easy on purpose. Member FDIC.
Seems like everything costs more these days. Food, utilities, medical costs, you name it. But as prices go up, our family budget stays the same. Fortunately, with Farm Bureau Health Plan's Core Choice coverage, we can save $3,600 a year compared to the leading competitor. And we've got better coverage with a lower premium, lower deductible, free telehealth visits, and access to one of the largest networks available. Start saving today at FBHP.com or visit your local Farm Bureau office.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Want to weigh in on the conversation?
It's a brain booster.
Slide into our DMs. Or just text or call at 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Having some fun in the midday.
Okay, that's really fun.
This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase.
It's a good source of energy because it's live.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Why do you think he felt compelled or necessary or just had it on his mind to tweet that, Robert?
Rich, I think DeAndre or D-Hop, put that out there because there are certain receivers or certain position groups that always feel a certain type of way when the team or the fans or the media starts perpetuating stories or pushing stories about them joining the team. Why? The natural inclination is to think D-Hop joins the team and now my targets are gone away. Or if I'm the third receiver, I'm now the fourth receiver. Well, that's the reality of it. So I think what D-Hop is trying to do is get the receiver rooms of the teams that are looking at him or that he's looking to go to understand I'm coming here, and yes, I might take away some of your targets, but I'm going to increase the quality of the targets you do get because you're not going to have all the attention of the defense. That's where I think it is, and I think it's actually a beautifully worded tweet as well. Kudos to him.
That was RG3 on the Rich Eisen show.
A beautifully worded tweet.
Like
how?
I mean, it's not it's not a Walt Whitman poem.
Exactly.
I mean, he said, again, we're discussing this tweet put out by DeAndre Hopkins. He said, whoever is in my future wide receiver group, I promise I will make your job easy. I mean, it's not beautifully worded, I think, is maybe a little bit too flowery.
What DeAndre,
it is what it is.
What DeAndre giveth, no one can take away, right?
That is so true.
Absolutely.
That is so true. Thank you, staff member Nick, for that. RG3 says he thinks that it is targeted toward a specific receiver. Maybe it's targeted toward receiver groups who might feel a little bit of, anxiety about a potential DeAndre Hopkins situation. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the point of DeAndre Hopkins tweeting that was. But I do think that it was calculated. I do think it was for a purpose. So let's look at this through a Titans vantage point.
Okay.
2 reasons that make me a little bit concerned about where DeAndre Hopkins' mind might be. I don't think D-Hop feels the need to be talking to Treylon Burks. And that's no disrespect whatsoever to Treylon Burks. But I don't think D-Hop is putting this tweet out as a message to Treylon Burks to say, hey, Treylon, don't worry about me. I'm only here to make your job easier. I think this is to someone else. If it is directed to a person or a specific receiver group, he's not talking to the Titans.
Nah, I can't say I can't say that he isn't or is.
In my opinion.
Yeah, but it does sort of, you would be talking to something like that. You would be talking to more of a veteran receiver group, an established receiver group already.
Right.
I.e. the Buffalo Bills, even the Kansas City Chiefs. they do have some guys that have made plays in this league. New England is another one. Honestly, now that we've sort of went over this for the last couple of segments, it may be toward New England. Because New England,
that's what I fear.
New England has the pass catchers. New England has
got Juju.
The skins on the wall, from Super Bowls to guys that have made, some plays in this league down the line. They have a receiving group that have made plays in this league. So he could potentially, now that I think about it, he could potentially be talking to New England, a New England team, or a team like New England that is more so veteran-led. Buffalo with Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. Those two guys have proven that they can play in this league. They have made big plays in this league time and time again. So he could be talking to rooms like that, not a room where, a lot of your success right now in the passing game lies on a second-year guy that does have the potential, but has to go out there and play a full season and prove it to you a full season. I've seen something in him, and I like it, but he has to prove it to you. But then you got Kyle Phillips, who hasn't played a lot of football. Chris Moore, who's been in the league a while, but last year he really got an opportunity to play. So,
and I don't think D-Hop would feel the need
exactly.
to have to talk down to Chris Moore and say, "Don't you worry about me.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna talk you off the ledge. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine."
He's talking to his equals.
He's talking to those guys, those contemporaries that have been where he's been or at where he's at. Listen, if I'm coming in your room, I'm not going to disturb what y'all doing. It reminds me of when I was in Baltimore, because it didn't necessarily happen here in Tennessee because they drafted guys. They didn't necessarily bring a guy in once the established receivers were there. They didn't bring anybody in. We just drafted and drafted well, and those receivers produced, i.e. Justin and Drew. They produced. But I look at a situation like I was in Baltimore where I had proven myself, obviously. Mark Clayton was proving himself. But then we brought in Anquan Bolden. We brought in who else did we had? Who else did we have on that team? Husman Zada was on that team. Who else was on that team? God, I forget the last person who was on that team. But
a solid room.
It was a solid room of receivers. But sort of Anquan was sort of the last person to come in. It was myself and Mark was there already. But when you come into a room like that with guys that have proven themselves, you come into that room like, I'm just going to do my job. I'm not taking away anything. I'm just here to make everybody better. And Quan did that. He made everybody better on that team, including myself, because now people had to pay attention to Anquan Bolden now.
Right.
So maybe I wasn't getting as much of the coverage, or Mark wasn't getting as much of the coverage. Why? Because now you got to worry about Anquan too. So I can understand what D-Hop meant by that tweet. Like, listen, I'm coming into the room. I'm only going to help y'all. I'm not going to hurt y'all.
That's a message to veterans.
Yeah.
That's
and Dante Starworth. Dante Starworth. That's who else is in there. Why am I forgetting Dante? Damn. But yeah, Dante was in that room too. But we all managed to work well together.
Right.
So.
And so that's why I think it's a message to veterans. Mm-hmm. It's not a message to Kyle Phillips and Treylon Burks. Mm-hmm. You bring up something very interesting that you think he might be talking to New England. Mm-hmm. Because Devontae Parker, when he was asked about DeAndre Hopkins, he said, we're good. Like, I'm good with the guys in my receiver room. Mm-hmm. And that's something similar to what Treylon Burks said. Like, I'm good with the guys in our room. Part of me thinks, hey, it's just standing up for my guys. Mm-hmm. It's me being a leader in the room and saying our wide receiver room, we feel comfortable with it as is. May not mean necessarily that they don't want DeAndre Hopkins. Mm-hmm. But still, the sentiment remains. That's Juju Smith-Schuster. That's a guy who has skins on the wall, that's been in the league a long time. I don't think Juju is now what he was a few years ago, but still, he's a receiver in the room with skins on the wall. He's a veteran. The only reason why I feel like he might not be talking to New England is because if there's an offer on the table from New England, why would DeAndre Hopkins feel the need to kind of massage the receiver room a little bit? Clearly, New England's good with what's going on in the receiver room. And clearly they're good bringing in DeAndre Hopkins if they're bringing him in for a visit and they're putting an offer on the table. That's why I think it might be mystery team XYZ that he's talking to. Because if he wants to go to New England, he can go to New England. He doesn't have to do any sort of massaging.
Well, yeah, he doesn't, but he still...
Because he could do that in the room.
Yeah, but he still wants to assure those guys or whoever, like, listen, there's a contract on the table. Don't be alarmed by that. Don't be alarmed by the contract. Don't be alarmed by anything. Don't be alarmed by me coming because I'm only going to help. I'm here to, mesh into the room. I'm here to help you other receivers, younger receivers. I'm here to help the veteran receivers that are here. But more importantly, I'm here to win. I'm here to help win. So don't be scared or don't think that I'm coming in here trying to take your job or, take catches away from you because ultimately what happens is this. If I come into your room, you can't hide talent. That's one thing that you cannot do anymore in this league. You can't hide talent because say if D-Hop goes into that room, say if he goes into New England. Matter of fact, let's say if he goes into Tennessee. Come here. He comes here. You have Traylon Burks. Say if those other guys are worried. Say if Racey McMath or not necessarily Kyle Phillips, but say Racey McMath and any one of those other guys, they have a tremendous camp, and then they killing it in preseason. You can't hold talent back, and Vrabel doesn't seem like the type of guy that would hold talent back just because I signed the guy to $15 million. Mm-hmm. If you got the talent, what do they always say? The cream rise to the top. If you got it, it's going to show. I.e., Carl Pickens, Yancey Thigpen, all these other guys, and here's this lonely fourth-round draft pick. Eventually, the cream rises. Talent, people see the talent. Yeah. And you got to play the talent. You can't hold the talent down. It's even more like that now. Back then, you possibly can do it because of the salary cap and collective bargain, everything else. Yeah. Now you can't do that. This game has progressed so much that if you got talent, I don't care if I'm paying this guy $20 million a year at receiver. If this young guy got talent, I got to find a way to play him. Mm-hmm. I have to. Because if I don't, I'm doing a disservice to my team. And they're watching. My team's watching. So if this young kid shows me that he has talent, but because I paid him $15 million, I'm playing this guy no matter what. Guys are going to be like, man, that's not cool.
They're gonna do that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So eventually, D-Hop's right. I'm only coming here if you're good, you're going to play.
Yeah.
I don't dictate that.
And it's not, you don't have just one receiver.
Exactly.
It's not Traylon Burks or D-Hop.
Yeah.
It's how much better can D-Hop make Traylon Burks.
Exactly.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Coming up on June 28th at 6 o'clock, it is draft night in Smashville with Robbie Stanley, Willy Donick, Max Hers, and Chase McCabe live from Bridgestone Arena for the 2023 NHL Draft. It's going to be a blast of a week. I'm pumped for it. The NHL Draft is powered by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429, Electronic Express, and Oil Fire Whiskey. Coming up next, got some NBA draft thoughts, have some college baseball thoughts. We'll do a little bit of potpourri coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
The Titans offseason program has come to an end. What other roster tweaks can GM Rand Carthon and head coach Mike Vrabel make before training camp?
Not just taking a guy to fill a need. We want to get the right people. We'll continue to kind of look through where we're at. Talking Titans.
Keep it locked to Nashville's best Titans talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Happy Friday, man. Hope you're listening. You better be listening because I know you are. And I need to tell you about Cool Springs MD. Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances. And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and his wife, Daphne, along with that wonderful and experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life. Cool Springs MD services have already helped many men of Brentwood, Nashville, and the surrounding areas in Tennessee with improving their immune systems, energy levels, cognitive functions, and more. They are there to connect you with the medical care you require to have a healthy and enriched life. There's no better time now to achieve a healthy lifestyle. So, men, what are you waiting for? Listen, I went to Cool Springs yesterday. I had my checkup. They didn't take blood work yesterday, but I had a long conversation with one of those experienced staff, one of those nurses, and everything went great. So, man, you need to make your appointment as well. You got to stay up on your health. Here's the number, 615-486-3458. That's 615-486-3458, or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
Because we work so hard for our customers, people are driving for hours to shop at Genesis Diamonds right now, taking advantage of the lowest interest rate on the planet. 0 interest for 5 years with nothing down. How about a $6,000 GIA certified diamond for just $100 a month? Pear shapes, rounds, even oval diamonds are all included. You can even finance the sales tax. All designer jewelry and all lab-grown diamonds included. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest financing. Exclusively at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Approved credit, see store for details.
Catch all the NASCAR action this weekend on 102.5 The Game, Nashville's racing station, brought to you by Richmar Florists. Catch the action Friday with the NASCAR Truck Series, then Saturday the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the Ally 400 Cup Series Sunday. Richmar Florists, Pennsylvania built, Tennessee strong.
When Smashville wants to rock.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, 'cause it's too cold for you here.
We are Nashville's rock station. 102.9 The Buzz.
Your company's hiring. Who isn't? We would love to show you how to use 102.5 The Game to attract and retain employees. We can also help you find the exact person you're looking for with a targeted digital campaign. You can trust our team to help you build your team. Email us at together@cromwellmedia.com.
Hey, Nashville, this is Dan Lebitard. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Est-ce qu'on voit mes sons? Victor, bienvenue à la NBA. Tell me what this emotion, tell me about these tears.
It's just accomplishing something that I've been dreaming of, my whole life. Hearing that sentence from Adam Silver, I've dreamed of it so much that, I gotta cry, man.
Eve, Oscar, Victor's siblings, there were tears for you guys. What has it been like watching your brother in this pursuit?
That's amazing. We are so proud. We are very happy for you. We are happy for the family, for the friends, for everything, for the basketball. That's so amazing. Yeah, I knew that I was gonna have tears because every time I thought about this sentence, like with the first pick and everything, I got this little tears in my eyes, and I knew that I wasn't gonna let them in my eyes. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
That was Victor Wembanyama last night, #1 overall pick, and I don't think that was really up for debate at all. Who was going to be #1 overall pick?
Absolutely. Not really. No, not at all. Everybody knew it.
Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. He had all the hype going into this year's draft, and Victor Wembanyama is an absolute freak of nature.
Mm-hmm.
He's 7'5" with an 8-foot wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
And if you turned on ESPN at any point, really within the last month or so, you would have heard about Victor Wembanyama. If you went on any sort of website or NBA Twitter, you would have heard about Victor Wembanyama. I don't remember any other player getting this much pre-draft hype other than Zion. I mean, it was absolute Zion extravaganza leading up to the NBA draft in 2019. Victor Wembanyama the same way. You brought up LeBron.
Yeah, there's only been, I'd say within the last 20, 25 years. Obviously, because, everybody wanted Shaq too, but Shaq had spent some years in college. So, everybody knew what he can do. I'm sure there have been players that came out of high school or college with a lot of hype. But there's only been, in the last 20, 25 years, there's only been 3 players.
In my lifetime, it's been LeBron, Zion, and now
Victor.
Wembanyama.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in being in the same group as those two names, and Victor Wembanyama, he's from France.
Exactly.
So I don't think that we as Americans knew as much about him as we knew about Zion and watching him at Duke and LeBron and all the hype that we saw about LeBron in high school. But it's those 3 that have received just ridiculous amounts of hype, that everybody knew this kid from France, that all of a sudden kid had never even heard of before. I can't turn on the TV without hearing about him. Do you think our basketball aficionado, is he going to be worth the hype? Because we've seen what's happened with Zion, with all of that hype going into it, that he was going to be the saving grace for the New Orleans Pelicans. And now we see he can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field. It's been off the field issues, off the court rather, issues with Zion over the past couple of weeks. Zion hasn't been what he was hyped up to be. Is Victor Wembanyama worth the hype?
First, I want to say congratulations to Ben Shepherd of Belmont. He got drafted by the Indiana Pacers, 26 overall, I believe. So congrats, because we had Coach yesterday and Casey Alexander. And, he knew that more than likely he would be a first-round pick. So congratulations to Ben Shepherd.
And the Belmont basketball
And the Belmont
program.
Bruin. It
That's
helps
huge.
out your program tremendously. Another first, adding a first-rounder to your list of players that are already in the NBA. So good luck to him in his career in the NBA. With Victor, I think first, the attitude is tremendous. This is a kid that you just see his parents did a good job, along with his siblings, at just keeping him normal in a world that doesn't keep a 7'5" phenom normal. They want to hype you up as much as they possibly can, only sometimes to hope that you fall. So it can be a story, a huge story. So first and foremost, I mean, from the demeanor, the personality,
the humility.
Yeah, it just seems like this young man is ready. Now, I think what's going to be difficult for him, and if he comes out and dominates right away, then okay. But if he doesn't, I don't think people should all of a sudden label him, oh, he wasn't worth the first pick.
Yeah.
It's a guy that's 17 years old. He's played a lot of basketball, but he hasn't played a lot of American-style basketball. So he's going to have to get used to that. He's going to have to grow more into his body. 7'6", 7'5", 7'6", 220-something pounds. Well, he needs to add on some more weight to his body.
Thing.
Exactly. He needs to add on more weight. But
I say little thing like he's not 7 feet tall.
He's sort of like a rail, just like not a big guy.
Lanky,
small, lanky, and weight-wise, at least. But he has played against NBA caliber players, being on, I think, France, their team, international team, where they did play some, guys that are still in the NBA or was in the NBA. He played against Scoot Henderson's team, which is a G League team.
3rd overall pick.
Yeah, third overall pick. And he fared fairly well in that. I think he averaged over 20-some points, and he was just a dominant force. I think the only thing that derails this kid is injury. I really do. Sort of like Zion.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think you got to worry about the work ethic, the work that he wants to put in and he's willing to put in. I don't think you have to worry about that. I think he went to the right organization in the San Antonio Spurs. So I think this kid is going to be all that we thought he would, that we thought he should be. I think he's going to be that. I think he's going to, because these guys don't come along every year.
Right.
Guys
7'5" guys don't come along very many times in a lifetime.
He reminds me of a Ralph Sampson, but with better handles and can shoot from the outside. Those that, watch the Houston Rockets, and Ralph Sampson was the #1 pick of the Houston Rockets, and he was a phenom coming out of college. First time you've seen a guy that big that can do some of the things that he was able to do. But Victor, he he was a point guard at one time. He still has that ability to play point guard, even at 7'5". He has handles like a point guard. He can stretch the floor because he shoots like a point guard or a shooting guard. He has range to shoot from the outside. He has range. I mean, he has that mid-range shot. But then also he can get in the middle of the paint. Now, that's when he's going to have to gain some more weight because you're going to be banging against those other big guys. But where he's going to help immediately, I think, is on the defensive end of the ball. He has to learn, sort of like Jaren Jackson, and Jaren Jackson is the best defensive player out there. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if he won it this year or not. But the problem with Jaren Jackson is he gets in foul trouble because he's a little bit too aggressive at times on the defensive end. If he can figure that out on the defensive end, as far as not being too aggressive, overly aggressive, and getting unwarranted fouls, this kid is going to be a monster on the defensive side of the ball. He can block. He's one of those guys that if you're shooting for the three-point line, you can't relax because he has the length to, if he doesn't get out there, he can still either block or alter your shot.
I'm always wary of players, young players, who get that much hype going to the next level. Arch Manning, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, Arch Manning was covered like Tom Brady was covered. I mean, this poor kid, it felt like to me, it still feels like anything short of Arch Manning winning the Heisman and the national championship every single year at Texas is going to be falling short of expectations.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous hype and expectations to put on a 17-year-old kid. But that comes with the territory. Same thing with Zion. All the hype that he got. If he wasn't Rookie of the Year, if he wasn't Finals MVP, if he wasn't League MVP, then he would have fallen short of expectations. Now, at this point, I think that if Zion just plays a full season, we would all be pleased with that.
Exactly, yes.
Same kind of thing with Victor Wembanyama. All of this hype, all of these expectations that he's going to be the savior in San Antonio. Well, I don't know if I can go that far. I think the hype is fair. The hype is justified. The guy is just a freaking freak of nature. And I'm really excited to see what he is able to do. And we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't followed the San Antonio Spurs since really Kawhi left because it seemed like, they started to get they just started to get away from those guys and sort of build a new team. But, everybody's going to be paying attention to San Antonio now. And I think this kid is, if they surround him with the right people as they did, Robinson and as they did Tim Duncan, if they surround him with the right type of players, he's going to win a few championships there.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Tune in for Nashville Sounds Baseball tonight at 6:35 p.m. on 94.9 The Fan. The Sounds take on the Norfolk Tides, AAA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. Sounds Baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by 312 Pizza Company, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Family Leisure. We will take it to the bank coming up next, featuring a special guest star. We'll get into that coming up next. Caroline, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
He knows the ins and outs of the Titans and isn't afraid to give his opinion.
Traylon Burks needs a massive offseason.
He's Jonathan Hutton of Outkick.
I don't see how they make a move without going to Ryan Tannehill.
Catch him every Monday at 10:30 on Chase and Michelle, and every Wednesday at noon on Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase. Hutton is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Greetings, everybody. Willie Donick up here. I am right now in the great state of Connecticut going up to a family reunion. My niece, Mary Prindle, graduating from high school in Poughkeepsie, New York. But that is not keeping me away from this week's Take It to the Bank segment. That is coming up just around the corner, as you heard Caroline say. But let me tell you about a great sponsor of ours now, F&M Bank. They have been doing some great things. Their motto is banking made easy on purpose, and that's how your finances should be. Simplify things. No matter what your needs are, as a family, as an individual, they've got you covered. And they're growing all over the place, all around our listening area in Middle Tennessee, on into Clarksville, as many of you know that listen to us up there, and on up into southern Kentucky as well. And they're right in the heart of town. They're on West End Avenue in Nashville. They're on the main drag in Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, and a lot of other places. They've got over 20 locations, so just go to their website and find out the nearest one to you. It's called myfmbank.com. That's the site, myfmbank.com. FNM.com. Coming up next, Take It to the Bank, brought to you by FNM Bank, member FDIC.
The team at Mercedes-Benz of Music City have done it again. Here's Edwin Vickery to explain.
4-time recipient of Best of the Best. Less than 10% of the dealers in the country receive this award. How did you do it? We say culture eats strategy for lunch, because we can strategize all we want, but unless you have the right culture and chemistry in the dealership, it will not work.
Live the dream at Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
Does this sound familiar? Did your agent provide excellent entertainment with their TikTok videos and constant social media posts about themselves while completely ignoring that you hired them to sell your home? Did they tell you how wonderful they were? How many followers they had? They probably never sold your home, but hey, they did get 15 likes on their selfies. Hashtag my clients love me. Don't let that happen to you. Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why the only likes we care about are our clients loving our service. Ask us about our prepay with TJ option and how it can save you thousands. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Office number 615-432-2919.
3 days of racing, 3 days of music, one huge weekend event. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is not just a race or a festival, it's an experience. Multiple music stations with Flo Rida, Vince Neil, Chris Jansen, Gavin DeGraw, and more. Fast cars going over 200 miles an hour. And a family fun zone with inflatables, Ferris wheels, kids games, and kid-friendly food trucks. Tickets and premium hospitality are on sale now. Go to MusicCityGP.com for tickets and get ready to experience Nashville's premier speed and sound event.
312 Pizza Company is a proud sponsor of Nashville Sounds Baseball on 102.5 The Game.
Buffalo Bill's Center of the West in Cody, Wyoming welcomes you as you enter Yellowstone Park's east entrance. 5 museums in one, including a wonderful Plains Indian Museum. Welcome to the West. Buffalo Bill's Center of the West, Cody, Wyoming.
They're homegrown in Nashville, discussing the biggest topics in the SEC.
The fans are going to want the rivalries to stick around. They've lost to Alabama every year.
The NFL.
What if all the top 3 quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3? You've got to draft your guy at 2.
And anything in between.
From thinking we know everything to then forgetting about everything we thought we knew the day before.
They're Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow on Outkick's Hot Mic.
Out of the gates, ready to go.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app. Having some fun in the midday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase brought to you by the News and Sportsbook with cash rewards and the easiest, simplest betting experience possible. Betting just got better. Download the Zen Sportsbook app today. It is a Friday, so it is time to take it to the bank, and it's just been D-Mase and I today. So we welcome in a very special guest on the Caroline, Willy, and D-Mase program, one Willy Donick. Welcome in, Willy, from the beautiful state, the Constitution state of Connecticut.
Yes, that is correct, guys. Greetings from Connecticut. I won't be here that much longer. We're going to head up into the Empire State for later tonight for the high school graduation of our niece. So it's right now a little bit of planes, trains, and automobiles. Got to rent the car. Erin's flying in right now as we speak. We got to pick her up and take her on the freeways of New York to get to Poughkeepsie. So hopefully all goes smoothly and we make it to the event tonight on time. But we feel like we've got some cushion here. But I could not miss Take It to the Bank, especially after I nailed mine from last week.
You just wanted to come on so you can brag about your last
What
week's win.
was your Take It to the Bank last week?
Yeah, he wanted to take it to the bank.
Nick, do we have records?
Ah, there's the sign.
I do.
All right, let's do a quick recap of our Take It to the Bank last week. Let's see how we did.
Willy Donick. Florida makes it to the College World Series final.
All right. Took that one to the bank.
Absolutely.
I'm gator chomping in the car up here in Connecticut. A rare thing.
Better cut that out
Don't let
real
any
quick,
Vanderbilt
Willy.
fans see me.
Clearly. Now, Derek. LSU, Tennessee goes to extra innings and LSU wins. I don't think that happened.
Half right. Did not go to extras.
But LSU
did win. If
All
anybody
right.
forgot.
Yeah. Now, Caroline, Jello shots. Now, you said that LSU was going to win it, so I think it's still a continuous thing.
Yeah, but let's talk about that because it is a continuous thing until the College World Series ends.
Sure.
LSU is currently in the lead with 29,023 Jello shots.
Okay.
Wake Forest is in second with 7,560.
Yeah, they're going to win.
So I feel pretty confident
you said
about
LSU leads Jello shots by 200 last Friday.
Yeah, they lead by 22,000.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
Yes, I think they're going to win.
Pretty secure.
And then I believe mine was NSC beats St. Louis.
You were right.
So there you go.
All right, nice. We took it to the bank last week. Now let's take it to the bank this week. Take it to the bank with F&M Bank. F&M Bank, banking made easy on purpose. Business is complicated. Banking doesn't have to be. F&M Bank. Visit one of their 20 locations throughout Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky or online at fmbank.com. Who would like to take the honors? First, take it to the bank this week.
You know what? I go. And my prediction is LSU will be crowned as the champions.
Okay,
this
all right.
weekend.
I'd like to hear it.
And it's not going to be close.
Is it because I'm in swinging distance
Yes,
of you and
absolutely.
you're afraid of me? Okay.
And it won't even be close.
Won't be close.
It won't be close.
Okay.
They will dominate.
You think LSU takes it in two?
I think they take it in two. This weekend, they will be crowned the champions.
I wish I shared your confidence.
You don't?
I do, but like not that much. I don't think it's going to
Man,
be
come
not
on.
close.
I think they're just going to take it. It's what I seen last night. I mean, I've seen it the whole tournament, but what I saw last night, man, those were the two best teams in college baseball.
It felt like
last
the
night.
national
Yeah.
championship.
That
last night.
felt like the national championship game to me, and I just think the LSU is they have. I just think they have too much. They're on a mission. It just seems like, in whether it's pitching or just hitting at the right time, they are making all the right moves, all of them. And last night was a doozy.
It was anxiety on 10.
Man, goodness.
For sure.
So I'm picking them in 2 games.
All right.
They
I
will
love
take
to
it.
hear it. I love your enthusiasm. Willie D, what's your ticket to the bank this week?
All right, well, I understand you guys had Barry Trotz on earlier today. We talked to Elliot Friedman yesterday. I'm really psyched about the draft coming to Nashville next week. It's going to be a big event. The entire hockey world descending into our city, which is going to be pretty scary because the Canadians, they like to go wild when they get to Nashville. Okay, so Nashville's always wild, but I feel like we're going to feel it with a lot of the Canadians coming down from north of the border to go nuts on Broadway. But my ticket to the bank, besides that, right, because you can take that to the bank all day. The Canadians are going to go crazy. A lot of them will end up in the gutter. But
good for them. They deserve that.
I am going to say that the Predators will make at least one significant trade during the 2 draft days, during at least one of the draft days. One significant trade will happen. The Predators want to shake it up. They want to make some noise. Barry Trotz is at the helm. He's got a lot of different things he could do to wheel and deal. So I'm going to say there's going to be at least one significant trade. I'm not talking about a 7th rounder for a minor leaguer. I'm talking about one significant trade. I feel it. I have no inside knowledge
Barry
on this.
Trotz. Do you care to go as far as to say what that trade will be for?
That's really taking it to the bank.
Well, it will involve picks for sure. I think he's got 13 picks this year, and he's got a ton of them the next 2 years. So I think picks will be the main ingredient. I will say a defenseman will be involved in the trade.
Spicy.
That's as far as I'll go.
I love it. Okay. All right. Willie's playing it safe up there in Connecticut.
You got some information, Willie?
Well, I found out that early in this contest, the simpler the more broad you make your prediction, the easier it is to take the bank.
That's not fair. That's not how this
Derek
works.
got burned because he was calling for extra innings. You don't call for extra innings? That's tough.
All right. I have 2 take it to the banks this week. One kind of without the rules of take it to the bank, so that's why I thought I'd add another one. My first take it to the bank, and it's outside of the rules of take it to the bank because I don't think it's going to be over by this weekend or by next week, but I'll do it anyways. I take it to the bank that DeAndre Hopkins will not be a Buffalo Bill or a Kansas City Chief. I don't think that either of those teams are going to have a good enough offer, nor do I think it really makes enough sense for him to go to either of those teams. So that is my take it to the bank of the future whenever DeAndre Hopkins does decide on his future landing spot, that it will not be in Kansas City or in Buffalo. My second take it to the bank, I'll kind of go with D-Mase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick with college baseball since last night, I think, was the best college baseball game that I have ever seen. And that's me taking off my purple and gold tinted glasses, just objectively.
Mm-hmm.
The two best pitchers in the sport, going 11 innings when it matters the most for a trip to the College World Series. I mean, it just simply does not get better than that. It comes down to a walk-off home run. It was one for the ages. That's going to be one that we're going to be talking about for a long time. So I'm going to stick with college baseball. By Monday, when our show starts, I do not think that we will have a College World Series champion. I think it goes to 3 games, and this is how I think it is going to go. LSU takes game 1. Florida takes game 2. And LSU blows out Florida in game 3. It's going to be at least by 3 or 4 runs in the final game of the College World Series. LSU wins it in 3. That is my take it to the bank.
Oh, okay. I like that. So they will be saving their ace pitcher for the final game, potentially.
Maybe.
Okay.
He went 8 innings on Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
How
Sunday.
many pitches did he throw? I didn't see that.
Around
Do you know
100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not.
He's throwing a lot. So this guarantees that one of you guys is going to be wrong, which is good.
It's good for Willy in the standings.
Willy. Are we keeping tally on this?
I need to catch up. You guys have been right more than I have, so I need to catch up.
That's very true, but I have to keep my record going
Staff
as
member Nick
well.
has a hot streak.
Nick is leading. Nick's leading.
So with the merit of Barry Trotz coming on the radio station, and he added more to my report yesterday that I had been talking about, especially after having Elliott on too. What I will say is, and I don't particularly like this, but I think it's going to be true. I think that forward Cody Glass and Alexander Carrier will be receiving qualifying offers, but they're going to go to arbitration.
Ooh.
Okay.
Spicy pick from the reporter.
We like it, Nick. What do you say about that, Willie?
Well, I think Nick has learned the name of this game is he's giving things that have a very good chance of being right. Now, I will say if they both go actually into the arbitration hearing, I would be very, very surprised. Like filing for arbitration, that's a pretty safe bet. But actually going to arbitration, that's a different thing. But we got a good thing going here on the Take It to the Bank, brought to you by F&M Bank. So guys, have a great weekend. I will talk to you on Monday.
Willie, have a great trip. Have a safe trip back
Absolutely.
to Nashville. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back Monday at 11 a.m. Stillman & Company is up next.
Be love and love on your